I guess this is all set up. Hopefully, I hope you hear me. This is Sol Villar. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for inviting me this morning to the second international workshop on skills and competencies on the 21st century workforce. I'm the HR VP for Atlantic Copper, and I'm very pleased to share with you these 20 minutes where I'm trying to bring you some of the stuff or some of the stuff that I've seen in other presentations in the previous one, but it's true that I'm trying to bring it to here with the link of skills and what we need, and be very, let's say, very concrete, very specific, to say it that way. The first thing I would like to bring here is that we have a universe right now. And when I say we have a universe right now, I mean, it's obvious that we've always had it, but we're living right now in an era where all changes are being very motivated by people. I mean, if we think about the climate change conference, COP 2021, we see how social opinion it's impacting so hard on the policy decisions and on the policy tendencies in order to mark and to establish the goals for the future. And that's very important, because if you think about when we talk about skills and work and competencies for the workforce, we're talking about skills and competencies for people, and people are the ones who are pushing towards whatever the world has to be drawing the future. And that's quite important. We have to be ready and we have to be prepared in order to give that answer to whatever we are asking for. So in a way, it's a circular thought. If we think about the second statement, or the second idea I wanted to bring here, it is Industry 5.0. I understand that Industry 5.0 might be a term that it's quite common for you. For others might be quite new, but we'll see how it's linked to the previous one. But the most important thing in here is that people is besides Industry 5.0. This Industry 5.0, it's a human-centric thought and a human-centric methodology or statement that tries to put industry and technology to think about what both of it can do for us, for people, and for the planet. So it comes up with the first statement of what us people want the world to be, and it comes us with what people have to do to be prepared to do it. And the third one that I'm gonna base my speech on is the Future of Jobs report from October 2020 from the World Economic Forum. And this report, we can see like what the gaps are for the future jobs in 2025 out of all the many companies out of 26 countries, and what the conclusions are. And I'm going to try to link the three things, and to link, if we're thinking about October 2020, and industry, European Commission paper, it's from January 2021, and we're talking about the COP conference that just finished on the November 13th, 2021. So we're talking about very, very recent events and very recent thoughts that are linked with just 1 year ago report, and we're going to see how it all gets perfectly aligned with the competencies that we think, or I think, that could help for the world and for the professionals that want to take part and are responsible for whatever we as a community and as a society are working. When we talk about the climate change and the conference, and we see what the four main statements have come out from, we see that we want a secure and global net zero mid-century and keep 1.5 degree reach. And when we think about that, we are saying that countries has been asked to establish an ambitious plan to cut down emissions before 2030. And the reduction targets are aligned with reaching net zero and by the middle of the century. And they're saying that countries should accelerate their phase out of coal, curtail deforestation, speed up the switch to electrical vehicles, and encourage investment in renewables. So thinking about that, we're talking in a technical and mineral workshop, I would say that there is so many challenges in here for you to entrepreneur and to initiate an innovation towards all these lines, that it's quite important that you consider as these lines as maybe as a career to take your future on. And on the other side, they're also saying that we have to adapt to protect communities and natural habits. And we're talking here also something that comes linked with the industry 5.0, which is human-centric. We're talking about that right now, even though we're establishing objectives and goals for 2030, we already are damaging the planet, and we're already emitting CO2, and we're already doing deforestation. And what we're thinking is how could we make cities and societies more resilient and more sustainable in order to get these goals reached. So the point is, what can you do to get these goals, to reach these goals, to help it out? And that's something that we always we also have to think about in order to establish the skills that we want to reach. Okay. And then obviously all of this has to be done with money. We have to, as a worldwide responsible, every country has to mobilize financial funds, and we're talking about many funds that will be dedicated to these projects. So we have, I mean, they're telling us what they want to do, or what they are expecting us to do, or you to do, and they are telling you how they're going to finance it. So it's important to have that in mind. And the fourth thing is that they're saying is that we should work together to deliver. And when they say that we all should work together, they're thinking about us as countries, but they're also thinking about the collaboration in between the public, the administration, governments, business, and civil society. I think this is a good proof of how institutions like universities business like us and civil society work together and collaborate and talk. And that's something that should be very, very um, pushed during the next years, because this is not something about um, society responsible because they are the ones that are proposing it, or it's not about companies that are the ones that have the most power or to and independence to act, or are not about governments who are the ones who establish the policies. It's about all of us. So it's very important to have an open mind in collaboration and in working and talking to other communities and to other sectors, and understanding how policy works, what the funds, how they work, how the European Commission works. And this is a very good proof. We are in the EIT raw materials, so we're all included in a umbrella academic or action right now, which is taken care by the a European organism. And the second point I would like to talk to you is about Industry 5.0. As I told you before, it's a very new paper policy brief, which just came out in January 2021. Even though it's quite earlier, the concept came earlier from Japan, and I think it was in something like 2016, but it's been developed lately. And this concept, it's an evolution of how societies are linked to industry. If we think about the first and second part of society, where there's no revolution is not impacted by industry. We're talking about hunting and gathering, and we are talking about agriculture economies. And it's not very, I mean, industry is not a very main factor or influence factor. But when we think about society 3.0, where we have the steam, where we have the machines, where we start producing as a chain, then we think about how industry is impacting on society. And industry obviously improves efficiency and profits for the companies, but it also impacts very highly on society. It makes more people more free to do other things, and it changes life itself for everyone. When we go to Industry 4.0, which is the fourth revolution, we're talking about the dominance of information. We're talking about who could get the most information and who could manage it, and who can, in a way, make it more profitable for the company. And now we get to Industry 5.0, and we're talking about 2020. And in here, we're talking about how society attempts to balance the economy development with the resolution of society, societal and environmental problems. It's not restricted to the manufacturing sector, but addresses large society challenges based on the integration of physical and virtual spaces. So Society 5.0 is a society in which advanced from IT technologies, internet, things of robots, artificial intelligence, and augmented reality are actively used in everyday life, industry, healthcare, and other spheres of activity, not primarily from the economy advantage, but for the benefit and the convenience of every citizen. So we come here again to put together how all the technologies, and we put it together towards human-centric focus. As we said before, the human-centric focus, it's been placed, or it's been very present and it had a very, very special position in the COP 26 and the industry 5.0. So we find again the focus on the how to take care of the planet and how to take care of the human. And when we talk about Industry 5.0, we're talking about a human-centric, sustainable, and resilient. I think we've been talking about this before. I mean, if you see it, it's all linked. And we're saying that instead of rather than taking emerged technology as a starting point and exampling its potential for increasing efficiency, a human-centric approach in industry puts core human needs and interests at the heart of the production process. We're thinking that rather than asking what we can do for new technology or with new technology, we ask what new technology could do for us. And we're saying that rather than asking the industry work to adapt his skills or her skills to the needs of rapidly evolving of technology, we want to use technology to adapt the production for process to the needs of the worker, like in training or like in practicing. And what we're saying is like how we can put it all together, all the technology, obviously to make more profitable the company and more efficient, as we said in the industry 4.0. But we're also thinking about taking care of the planet. We're also thinking about the human being and a human being. So what we're saying is that and this focus, when we have Industry 5.0, we ask, why should we do this? Okay, if we want to reduce costs, obviously, we have to use industry and we have to use technology and information to work on it. But we also can empower workers to use that information and to use it in different ways in order to more make an easier life for them too. I mean, we're not saying that technology, we cannot allow that technology is just only pushing people out of the process. We're thinking about how people can have a better place in the or be very better placed in the process. We're talking also about a competitive industry, attracting the best talent. Because if we have an industry that takes care and has a human-centric focus, we're thinking about, I like that. I might like that. I mean, I would like that, obviously. So that might be something that attracts people. And adapt training and evolving skills. We're thinking about how can we make things easier for the people. A competitive edge in new markets. We're talking about a new different focus and innovative vision of what we're doing. And obviously, we are talking about safety and well-being. What things can technology can do for me that minimizes my risk, that minimizes emissions, that minimizes everything. And I just can work on how can I use this technology to improve my experience as an employee. And finally, once we've seen the COP26, we've seen the Industry 5.0. I would like to introduce a more analysis of skills. That's what I wanted to talk to. So you'll be like saying, okay, she's telling us all this that we already in a way know that's happened, that it's going on, and how do I link it with his skills? Okay, and this report I just identified two big, or I just emphasize in two graphics. The first one is where the demand is increasing and where is decreasing. Okay, we see that it all comes from all that we've been talking about, all these jobs that are whose demand or which demand is increasing. It's all about Industry 4.0. If you think about data analysis scientists, artificial intelligence and machine learning, especially big data, all these jobs that are using the information to make it more efficient and more profitable, all the companies and all the process and business are the ones who are coming up, all right? We also have a strategic advisors. We need people that think about what's going on in the world, what's the world asking for, what are the tendencies, how can I attract a talent. We need people that think about how to do things, where to put the focus on. Okay, and we obviously need the risk management specialist. I mean, there's quite a bit, but project managers, obviously, but there's a lot of information, digital business development in here. Business development professionals obviously is very important for all these new things, initiatives that we should take on. So all these are jobs that are going to be very demanded, and that could be something to start your career on. On the other hand, we have the ones that are decreasing. All the entry data, all the things that can be done by a machine, all of this is obviously coming down. It's the decrease in demand. And I mean, it's obviously if we're using machines to do all the analytics and all the data, we've got people that can be doing all the things. And in here, we have the top 15 skills that came out of the study. And to me, it's important how we have obviously analytical thinking and innovation. We're thinking about data and information, how to manage information. But it's important too that we have human competencies, which are very important. And the second one that for me is the first one, is active learning and learning strategies. It is so important to be aware of what the world wants, what the company wants, and to just make a strategy, self-strategy to know what do I want to do and how do I get the knowledge to reach it out and to do whatever I really like. That's where I'm going to be happy with. That's where I'm going to do a lot of for whatever goal I want to reach. And that's what society, or the role that society is taking in all these lately years, as we've seen before. Critical thinking, creativity, or original initiative, leadership. I mean, all these initiatives, I can just name them, but I'd rather just put them all together with the three areas that we've gone through. The first one is the climate change conference. So in here, I just took the top 15 skills from the World Economic Forum and just thought, okay, if I have to change the world, if I have to tell the companies, hey, let's reduce emissions, how about I need persuasion and negotiation? How about I need leadership and social influence? Because we need to change how things are done. And I need to think about critical thinking and analysis. I need to think about what we do and why we do it that way. And that's very important. We need to think and to just question everything that we're doing right now to change the world. That's the world asking us, and that's what we want to do. Industry 5.0, if we remember about the human-centric and how technology is, and how we think about what technology can do for us, okay, then we have to change the roles. We have to be creative, to be original, to have initiative, to think about how I can reduce risk, how I can make a job more inclusive, because you don't need to be so strong, or you can have you don't need certain skills that a machine can do for you or can replace them. You need to think about what people, if we're wants, or how people think. If we're thinking about human-centric, I have to be emotional. I have to have emotional intelligence and service orientation for the client. but also for the worker. And last, as I said before in the World Economic Forum, I just put the three ones that are all companies said that it was so important for new workers or for workers that are already involved in the company, because remember that we are having a long learning education, that it's very important for all companies to change the workforce that we have right now. And it is analytical thinking and innovation, active learning and learning strategy, and complex problem solving. They're all linked and they're all aligned to whatever or what the world is asking us to do. Well, that I hope I'm on time. Sorry if I'm just got run out a little bit late on the minutes. That's what I wanted to tell you. Thanks for your attention. I don't know if you have any question or whatever, I guess, on the chat or Angie throughout the organization. I'm very available for whatever you need. And thank you very much. I hope you have a great day, and best regards from Madrid, Spain. Thank you.